and gentlemen, to the Wolves, and today I'm doing one of the most anticipated videos. Actually, one of the most videos that I've been harassed for the most. That is a review for the die assault matrix. Plain and simple, I did not want to have the scoop on this video. I didn't want to be the first one out with a video on a dam because it's that much of an important marker. You know my deal with dam, and if you don't know, you know that I'm allowed to say anything I want about it. That will happen today. And I have not come out with it sooner because I wanted to test it in all environments. I wanted to test it in the snow, sleet, rain, hail, even the hot summertime like it is now. So that's why it's taken me so long, because I wanted to get a full, well-rounded perspective on how this paintball marker works. And I'm gonna get into it today. So sit back, grab some popcorn and a Red Bull or a snippet of tea, and then we shall get into it, all right? Die damn, let's get the gun and get to it. Hoo-ya. Here is the die assault matrix. It's the newest Woods Ball MILSIM marker made by Die Precision, and they came with it thoroughly. I'm going to tell you the ins and outs, what I like about it and what I don't like about it. First, we'll get started with the basics and tell you a lot of the things about the gun that you may or may not know. First and foremost, this is a paintball marker that can shoot hopper like so, or magazine-fed paintball rounds. This is why, part of the reason why it's so huge right now. It's not the first of its kind, but it's seemed to be doing pretty good so far. I'm going to go over the basics with the marker and see what it's all about. Start from back to front, from the rooter to the tutor, alright? Here we go. Stock, 5-point adjustable stock. Press the button and so it's got several holes for putting different kind of slings on. I have a tactical sling. I'll explain that later in another episode if you haven't seen it yet. Very strong stock. It's got a rubber butt on the end, so it's nice and comfortable. Even though you're not getting real kickback like an actual firearm, it's still very comfortable to have the rubber on here. Also, it's got this nifty little storage compartment where you can place batteries and whatnot. Alright, which is very cool. Next up, we have the grip. It is a excellent, very ergonomic rubber grip. It's a good size, nice medium size. Cool thing about it is this is where you also put the battery in. And it is a toolless entry for the battery, which means you don't need anything special. All you do is boom, open that up. I always recommend good batteries in your marker, especially this one is very sensitive as to how powerful your battery is. So Duracells or Energizer, please don't go with the cheapo batteries. It's got this little screw here to adjust the cables for the battery. I would suggest never playing with that. Leave it alone. If you don't know what you're doing, you might hurt the wires connecting your power source, and that would suck. Again, very decent grip, and that goes back together that easy. The ASA is where the air goes in here. Right now I have the, this is the attachment for my remote line. The air goes in here. Now have this pointing straight up at 12 o'clock on your ASA. For some reason it just works better for me when it's straight up. When you're ready to shoot, this turns down. Alright, takes a little bit of elbow grease when you first get the marker, but overall, it's a decent design. I wish it was a little easier, maybe a little turn switch, but overall, it's fine. Don't be a wuss about it. If your hands get painted or wet, it might get a little tricky to switch it. Otherwise, it's fine. The on-the-fly system.
Excellent!
This is why, part of the reason why this marker is so well respected right now. This is why it's so cool, and I'll explain this to you. If you haven't heard of the on-the-fly system, it's plain and simple this. If you want to shoot from a magazine, sorry, from your hoppers, from there to there. Is that alright? Yeah, okay. Sorry. From magazine, from here, and if you want to switch, all you need to do is switch this, click it in there, and that is for first strike rounds, and which means it's magazine fed. Now that is really cool. That's the big thing about this marker, is that simple transition with the eye pipe from there to there. That's all you need to do. You don't have to break down the gun to choose your firing modes. That is huge right now, and I'll get more into that in a minute. Your power modes here, you turn it on like so, your lights come on, and you have your 3 different buttons. Obviously it's the power mode. This is your fire selection switch, which means you can shoot in semi-automatic mode, one pull, one Paintball, 3-round burst, and full-on automatic. My favorite is 3-round mode because it's much more accurate when you're shooting, when you're playing, and you don't waste as many paintballs. Obviously, if you're going to go magazine fed, you want to go semi-automatic, personally. Well, yeah, semi-automatic, because A, if you're shooting first strike rounds, it can get mighty expensive if you go full auto and 3-round burst, and B, it just makes you a better player if you're doing semi. Also, this is for the eyes of the marker. You hold that sucker down, and that means it will shoot with eyes off in case you get gunked up or anything. You can't even hear it there. Hold on, let me put this on. I don't know if you can hear that. I don't know how good the sound is on there, but yeah, that means eyes are off. And boom, you turn it off like so. Very cool. More things about this marker. It's got a magnetic back cap on the back that comes out like so on the actual bolt, so that you can take it out and turn it without using a tool. It comes with a foregrip that goes here. It's an angled foregrip, rubber one. I took it off. It literally looks like this. It's a foregrip, so when you're shooting, it's like that. I took it off because I just added on my own foregrip because I feel more comfortable shooting like so. $100 value, ultralight barrel that I gives you with this marker. Very cool, very efficient. Bores out at about 6.888, which is pretty darn good for most paintballs. The hopper adapter, very strong, very efficient, excellent. I like it a lot. It's a nice clamping feed neck, easy to manage. You don't need, you can do it with your gloves on, anything like that. I hate the tiny little screws that they use to put this on.
Bogus.
Now they probably do that not only for ergonomics, but so that they can fit this on without interfering with the mag well, and I'll show you why later. But if you lose those screws, you're probably in trouble. And just be careful not to lose these, and keep a nice strong Allen key if you want to remove this. It also comes with a very cool cap for this, so if you don't want to have this on, and if you're going strictly mag fed, give me 1 second. If you're going strictly mag fed, it also comes with this cap that you can put it in its place that makes the entire top rail nice and smooth all the way across. You have a great line of sight. Right now, you see I have my fake EOTech on here that I use as a hollow sight. I have this ranged out at about 40 yards or so, strictly for first strike rounds. On a different note, this is the sight that Dye gives you with the marker. It's a red dot sight that works off of sunlight. What you do is you look through it, and you have both eyes open when you're looking through it, and use your peripheral vision to get the dot. Very easy to do. And so it's not a close one of your eyes and shoot it. You keep both your eyes open. It's a very common way of using sights, and you shoot with that. Dye also sends this in with your marker. They don't come with the EOTech sight like I put on mine, plain simple. When I have my hopper on, I just turn the hopper a little bit, facing inwards. It looks weird to other people, but it's not in the way of my sight, which is great design by it. It goes, all the air is through the grip. Very cool. It's milled out inside of here. It keeps it nice and secure. Very smart, very clean. Goes up through here, up into here. There's an O-ring in here that you have to make sure is okay once in a while, but other than that, it's worked out pretty darn good. Now, it also comes, this is a 10-round magazine, but I'll show you what it comes with in the box. It comes with this fake magazine, and I'll show you why it's very cool. Faux magazine is actually a toolkit, and if you haven't seen it, it comes with a ton of O-rings, extra detents for your eye pipe, a whole bunch of Allen keys, and space for a spare battery. Great idea. You're always going to need parts for any marker, and this is a great combination. They didn't gunk it up with stuff you don't need, and they didn't just make it a waste of space. They utilize and make everything efficient so far, even with this fake marker. I got to warn you that when you take out the Allen key from this thing, it can be a bit tricky to push them back in. You got to use some elbow grease. Make sure that those things are in tight so they're not rattling around too much. Magazine release, if you didn't just see me use it, it's ambidextrous, which means you can release the magazines from either side of the marker. Boom, there, and it's got also on the other side if you're a lefty. Very, very small, very, very smart, especially for those guys who, shoot with the other hand and have to, boom. That's a very effective tool right there. Thank you for doing that. I'm a righty, but lefties feel that big time. Huge. The color-coded O-rings are a great system. They go throughout the bolts. You'll see that very soon. It's throughout the bolts. Very smart idea. I love the color coding system. Very foolproof and idiot proof. Now this is the shroud, the front shroud. It consists of two pieces. One here, one there. Don't know if you can see the liner, but that's, if you want to adjust it, you can have it just this short or even shorter for that CQB situation that you're in. It's very easy to remove, just some simple screws up top and below if you want to adjust those, and it's very cool. I also added on my own tactical flashlight. You don't need to. People add on and mod their markers the way they want to. Now, this is a spoolie, which means it shoots much quieter than my old markers, like my Tippmanns and stuff. It's a lot more accurate, and it's very consistent. But at the same time, it does not like the cold weather. When you get, what I was playing in a winter game at Flag Raiders, it was about minus 20 or so degrees Celsius. It does not like that type of cold weather. Guys like Kaz from Visual Reviews said that there's like this stuff called this honey grease that you could use on the boats. It's a lot thinner and doesn't gunk up in the extreme cold weather. And when you use that stuff like that, I'll put the link for that below. Apparently that works in the really, really cold weather. The majority of you guys will not be playing in those extreme cold weathers, especially all you guys down south like Mike from TechPB. You don't have to worry about all that stuff. Good, clear grease is very decent. If you do use the honey grease that I was telling you about, you have to grease up your bolt a lot more often because it's thinner. It doesn't maintain as long. Regular grease is very good for your O-rings and whatnot in regular weather conditions. If you want to remove the bolt, you can do it by hand, like so. You pull out the magnetic bit. Now, the important thing about taking the bolt out is you only do it 2 turns. If you're doing it 3 or more, stop, you're doing it wrong, okay? There we go. Comes the bolt. And how it works. There's the engine of the system. I'll get more into this in a minute. Now, again, if you do more than 2 turns, if you get into 3 turns, that means you're starting to unscrew the bolt itself. Stop what you're doing, turn it back, and use your tool. To take out the bolt, you need the bigger Allen key right in there. I believe that's a big Allen key, is a 1/4 inch key to take out the bolt. If you want to adjust the velocity, use a smaller Allen key in the same hole, a 3/16, and that will adjust the velocity up or down. And it's very minimal turns to adjust that velocity. Do not go crazy. It's very sensitive, all right? The cool thing about this, and a lot of guys, as a Tippmann shooter before, I had to take apart my whole marker in order to clean out a break. Now look at this. When you take this bolt out, it goes all the way through. It is so easy to clean this thing on the fly, on the move. I love it simply for that. Some of you speedball guys are, yeah, whatever, it's been around forever. But for us MILSIM guys, this is a very awesome, cool system. I love the fact that you can clean it that easily. Another hint for you guys, I think I said it, and I'll say it again. Every time you play, after you play, take your battery out of your grip. At the end of the day, when you're done playing, when you're going to store your marker, don't store it with the battery in. Take out the battery. It helps maintain everything in this marker. If you want to adjust the modes on this, it's unfortunate, but it's the thing. It's the old school dip switches, which are up in this beast. If you know what dip switches are and you know how to do that, do what you want. In your full colored manual is how to adjust the modes on this. If you're just a regular guy like me and you don't need to adjust all that stuff, leave it alone. All right, I keep playing with the factory settings. The full auto is fine, the 3-round burst is fine, the semi is fine. I could probably change to whatever. I don't need it so far. I think the factory settings have been cool for me so far. Dip switches, I'm not a big fan of messing with them. They're easy to do when you know how to do it, but personally, I leave it alone. The electronics and the solenoid are up in here. They're not in the grip as you see. They're up in here. They're up right under the bolt. That's where everything is. That's where your board is. Keep it safe. You know what I mean? If you want to get into there, clean it out. There are other videos. I'll point you to the videos in a minute. But yeah, keep it safe. If you play in the rain or extreme conditions like that, at the end of the day, when you're done playing, go through your marker, clean it out, and dry it properly. All the screws, everything, make sure there's nothing moisture on the screws themselves. You don't want anything rusting up. I've heard 1 or 2 stories. It's very rare, but it can happen. So make sure you dry your marker at the end of your play day effectively. All right, now I'm gonna go sit down for a bit, take this baby apart, go over some of the specifics, and let you see inside and different things about it, the eye pipe, the bolts, a little more intense, and we'll have fun with it, all right? Let me get my chair. Oh yeah. Okay, so let's get into the bolt, the engine of this bad boy. Now this, again, very easy to take out from your marker, just 2 full turns. Now you might have to be a little stronger to do these turns, but I personally, I'm a no tool guy. I hate using tools to have to take apart my markers. That's why I love this thing so much. Here's 2 and a little bit more. She comes out nice and easy. That is the piece de resistance for this marker. Hopefully that focuses a bit, maybe not. Okay, it's the fun of doing this on my own. Now, essentially it's 2 parts. This is the hyper inline regulator on the back. This is the bolt and can on the front. Take these things apart like so. And as you notice, you'll see a whole bunch of different colored O-rings all over the place. Amazing setup for this. Green, blues, reds, a whole bunch of different colors. There you go. This is a part you really need to take care of after every game. So what you do, you need to pull this apart. So you unscrew this from here, it comes there. Take off this blue one. Some people like to use the yellow one and yellow O-ring instead of the blue one. So far I've been sticking with the blue one because I like to keep it factory. That comes out from there. Boom, you're ready to clean her up. All right, wipe it down, re-lube. Not just a little bit of lube, but lube often. All right, don't overdo it with these things. Lube your O-rings. Get in here, get the orange one in there. You can see that. Lube that nicely. I already lubed it up. I don't want to strip it down, re-lube it again, because I just hate doing that stuff. So after you do that, put her back together. Make sure everything feels good and motion is working. Put that baby back on there. On there. Make sure in here is clean. Always make sure in there is clean. Make sure in there is clean. Now I'm not using a lot of technical terms because I'm doing my reviews for the new people, the new guys. If you want to get more technical, please go check out Mike from TechPB's review on this, and check out Hustle Paintball's review on this. And they get more in depth into the technical names and technical aspects, especially the hyper inline regulator. It's very cool, but you do not want to take this apart unless you really know what you're doing. They made this very accessible for the average guy, but you don't want to open this up unless you really know what you're doing. Try and see a tech or learn more over the internet through tech-based paintball sites, and they'll teach you how to properly clean this thing. All right, so yeah, take apart the 3 pieces, lube everything nicely, recheck your O-rings very carefully and make sure there's no nicks or scratches in them. They make a big difference as to how you play and how effective you are in the field. Like I said, some people like to remove the blue O-ring, put the yellow one instead on here. So far I'm sticking with the blue because I like the factory settings. But yeah, very plain and simple. This is the engine for this bad boy. Keep it clean, maintained, free of dirt at all times, after every game or after every day playing. Clean, lube, repeat. Put her back in. We don't force, it's nice and easy, glides in. Turn it until it stops. You are good to play again, all right? That easy. Use microfibers when cleaning this thing. Try not to use harsh towels or paper towels, because the less damage you do, the better, obviously. Okay, now we're gonna get into eye pipes, which is the magic of this marker and makes it so cool. Plain and simple. You can do this without taking off the mag well. I just do it because I feel better doing it. I feel I can do a bit better cleaning job if I take off the whole mag well. You don't have to take off the feed pipe to get to your eye pipes. Just simply slips down, and please get used to this before you have to do it. Please learn this before you need to do it so you get used to it and you feel secure cleaning this out. And look at that, I still got some shell left in there, which is always good. Now, number 1 point, your eyes. Be extremely careful of your eyes, which are on this side and this side. I can't tell you how many complaints I've already had of people hurting their eyes trying to do this. So please be careful of what you're doing when you're doing that, of your eyes at all times. Please. Last time. So you undo the tiny screws. Here's your eye pipe. And what you need to do is you go back up to the top. You have 3 screws up here. You go to the middle one. You give it one very slight twist. So you give it 1 rotation. That's all you need to do. You don't pull it all the way out. Turn your baby back over. You pull out the barrel. And boom, you see the O-ring, the detents are available. Now my gun is still dirty, so it's a good example. You pull out the cover, plain and simple. I got to clean that. Then you pull out, and this is your plastic eye pipe. So I'm just going to run this under some hot water for a second, clean off the paint because she's still a little dirty, and I'll be right back. Alright, so we're back. I just finished cleaning this with some nice old hot water. Not too hot. Don't boil it or anything. You're not trying to kill people trying to invade your castle. You don't need boiling oil on this thing. Some nice warm water. Get the paint off. And that's it. You don't lube it or anything. Alright? Now, you just simply drop it back in. Now, remember, point number 1. Always make sure this is on magazine feed. That means this is at the front. Magazine feed when you're trying to put everything back in, or you're going to give yourself a lot of problems. Now drop this puppy back in like the way you saw it. Alright, that should be fully exposed to the breech. It fits in perfectly there. You drop the cover back on, cover plate back on. Plain and simple. It just, it's not an infomercial here. I'm just showing, it's so easy. I am not a tech. It's just that easy. You push that in. The barrel back in, tighten that screw again. Again, do not make it too tight, alright? You do not want to over tighten any of these screws. They're very small, they're very particular, so you got to be careful. And boom, you're good to go. Look at how fast it was, look at how easy that was, alright? This gun is amazing simply because of this little invention here. Test it out. That's how it feeds. This is so cool. Sorry, I'm not centered. Alright, this is magazine feed. You just push the lever, then it turns, and now feeds from up here, which is your hopper. So simple, but these guys just did it so well. I'm very impressed by this. So there, make sure the eyes are in, nice and easy. Do not be forceful with these wires or these eyes. I'm warning you now. All right, we put this baby back on. Magwell just goes in, nice and easy. Again, be careful about these wires. I cannot tell you enough how you have to just take it easy. Boom. I put the screws back in. We're good to go. Give me 1 second. I'm not going to bore you with the simple stuff. Okay, so as I'm just putting these back in, let me also point out that the 5 screws I just removed to clean this whole thing, all of them were the same size Allen key that comes in the kit that is in the fake magazine. So all these 5 screws that I just had to pull out and to get to the eye pipe are all the same size. And do not tighten too tight. All right? You do not want to strip anything. Just do it nice and simple. Boom. Let's move on. Okay, so let's get into magazines. Now, magazines that Dye has produced, these are literally the coolest ones on the market right now. And I've seen pretty well almost all of them, and these things are insanely good, insanely smart, and insanely easy. MagFed is becoming the thing of the future for a lot of paintballers. Magazine fed games are huge right now. My new shirt is even dedicated to pretty well magazine fed. These magazines are so cool that they just scare the industry because everyone has to bring it up a notch. Let me show you why. They come in essentially 10 round or 20 rounders. Now there's 5 on each side, or 10 on each side. Now you can probably fit 11 or, you know, in this. I would not, do not overfill these, which I mean there should be a little room left at the top. I'll show you why in a second. This is a 10 rounder. Now if you look really cool, it's got diagrams. I hope that focuses for you. I can't see from where I'm sitting. It's got diagrams on how or which way the first strike rounds should face. And first strike rounds should always face inside. That means the round part goes on the inside because that's how it feeds into the marker. Very smart. It's very easy to do, but you would not believe how many times I've heard people make mistakes by putting their first strike rounds in other markers the wrong way. I know it's stupid. It happens. This simple diagram makes it easy for new and old users. This is the larger round. Now what you see here, this is a 20 rounder, which is what I walk with because more ammo the better essentially. And how it works is very simple. Well, there we go. First you get some paintballs, all right? Now excuse me if you already know how this works. I'm doing this for the new people. So I'm putting in 1, 2, I'm feeling the spring in there as I put them in. 3, 4, 5, a little closer, sorry. 6, 7, 8. Now you feel it down there. Still going down. 9, 10. These are 68 caliber regular paintball rounds. Now I put my finger in there, I walk to the first knuckle, and you hear a little click, and they stay down. They're in there, okay? If you do that like that, this acts as a detent, still stays in. Now, if you want to be silent about it, you could put another one in there, sure. Personally, I do not recommend putting more in there. You could probably get one more in there if you push, but don't. If it goes up to that first knuckle and stops there, you want to stop there. The amazing thing about this is what I call the garage door, which is this door on the side that goes up. Oh, you press here and you push up and this closes it. Like so. Excellent! That is so cool. A, because it keeps your paintballs nice and clean, and you don't have to open it to put it back in the marker when you're ready to shoot. Okay, it will automatically open that door for you as soon as you put it in. So you don't have to get anything ready, which is so cool, you have no idea. It works the same for first strike rounds and regular paintballs. Spring down here is compressed, and it's not really pushing it too hard against the garage door. And there will be no dimpling. You can keep them in there for a long time, and it will be fine even in hot weather. It'll be fine. All right? Magazine-fed paintballs, magazines, and it's not a clip, it's a magazine. Remember that. They already put a lot of pressure on paintballs as is, but this system alleviates that pressure. You don't get as much pressure as you would on other paintball magazine systems, which is huge. All right, very cool. Couplers. You can buy, and I always recommend this I totally recommend this if you're gonna get more than one magazine, which is what you're probably gonna do. You can buy little couplers that screw into the center of magazines that hold two together. If you play Call of Duty or anything like that, it's called quick load. That way, actually, give me 1 second. I'm going to take these off. Now, notice to put my hand there when I open the garage door. That's why they won't shoot out everywhere, because I don't feel like cleaning up that mess. So if you want to take your balls out, open that garage door with one finger, put your finger over it slightly with the other, and they go right in your hand. Look at that, how nice is that? Oh my goodness. But yeah, if you want to reload quickly, you must buy these couplers for your magazines. For 20 rounders, use 2. For 10 rounders, use 1. If you want to couple these together, it makes that much more of a difference when you're running and gunning. I'm serious, buy these. I'm not trying to make you spend money. I'm telling you how awesome these things are. You do not have to do it reverse. You do them both this side up, because when you're shooting, you're running and gunning, boom, 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 boom. I'm out of ammo. Switch, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Out of ammo. Switch, boom, 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 boom. How insanely cool is that? Like, this is makes a big difference. Huge difference All right, couplers are amazing. Do not tighten them too tight because it will mess up the action inside of here, and it'll just give you problems. So do not tighten these too tight. Nice and snug, all you need. Plain and simple. So essentially that is the dam. Okay, Wolf tips and tricks, all right, and other people that I've read, other reviews I've read, and things I've personally experienced with this gun, this marker that you should always keep in mind. Always, always, always use new and good quality 9-volts. Don't go and buy some mom and pop kettle 9-volt they can get in massive bulk. Use a Duracell, use an Energizer, spend that cash because literally the battery makes a big difference in how this marker shoots and how it operates and how it works and how accurate it is. Even though it's a MILSIM marker and it's an electronic marker, it relies on that power to work efficiently and impressively. New 9-volts, always good. Always keep a mag in here when you're playing because for two different reasons. A, you don't want to run around with this like this because you're going to get dirt or something in there that you do not want. It's going to cause you more stress. And B, it also keeps the eyes safe and it also lets the eyes detect properly what's going on. This is the kit I showed you before, the tool kit that fits in there nicely. If you're not going to use mag fed, run around with this thing in there. It stays out of the way. But always, always, always play with something inside the mag well so that you keep it safer, keep the eyes safe, keep everything clean, working nicely, all right? The solenoids, which are in here, are very, very sensitive. A lot of people are finding that. You will hear air leaking if it's over-pressurized. You do not want to over-pressurize this marker because you start hearing the evil there are guys like Mike from TechPB who like to use an Apex barrel and it gives him hell because he wants to turn it up high enough so that he can adjust for the Apex that decreases the velocity of the balls, and it drives him crazy because if you turn this up too high you're going to hear the hiss and then it messes up your whole velocity. So keep in mind, you want to keep the velocity down, you want to keep the pressure down. That way you will avoid the cursed hiss of the solenoid in this marker. If you want to turn up the gun, do it slowly, easily. Don't go crazy. Don't open her all the way up. You know, be careful with it. It's very tricky, but it's worth that trickiness in the end, okay? First strike rounds. The tricky thing with the first strike rounds is that they are a higher, they are a larger bore. The first strike rounds weight measure in at about 6.91, 6.92, something like that. The average, this ultralight barrel is made at a 0.688. You can and will shoot first strike rounds through it. You might notice some, residuals from the actual first strike rounds after playing for a while. These shoot first strikes just right, but you may want to bore it out at a 6.92, even some might say, for that bigger thing, that bigger round. Or even, from what I've read on different forums, people like boring it out at a 6.86. Figure that one out. You have to work on this, test it out for yourself, try different barrels. I recommend Freak or Flask. Deadly Winds apparently makes a very cool one. I still have to do a testing edition to see which barrels work best for regular rounds and first strike rounds. Please keep in mind the boring. It's very important, especially if you're using first strike rounds. Regular 68 cal markers, 68 cal paintballs are just fine with what you get factory. Very cool. Do not over tighten any screws on this. Just tight, nice and snug. Do not over tighten anything on this. Some of the screws are teeny tiny. They're not long, old school long screws. You don't want to damage the screws, and you don't need to be wrenching this thing open when you really don't have to. All right? If you're going to, whenever you see me play, I will always be playing with a remote line on this. That is a remote line. You've seen my adapter here. This goes on the end of here, and the remote line goes to my tank, which is in my back. It just makes the ergonomics and the weight of the gun a lot easier to deal with. I'm not a speedball player, I'm not a tournament player. I do not play with my tank attached to the marker. that just seems like a waste of energy to me. You know, you get a nice SolidWorks or a slide remote line, they work amazingly, and you will have a lot of fun with this thing. You can use the I don't have the foregrip on me, it goes right here. It's an angle one that goes like this, so you shoot like that. I personally shoot like this. That's a personal thing. So yeah, that's essentially the die dam wrapped up. Few other notes. I would love to see one day a box mag, a properly working, efficient box mag for this marker. That would be insane. Very cool. Oh my gosh! But you got to keep that springs right. You got to keep it working properly. So, you know, they take their time doing stuff. Hopefully they'll come with something like that one day. Another company tried doing a box mag for another mag-fed paintball marker, and it wasn't done very good. So hopefully they come up with something cool soon enough that will work. Please take note that I made absolutely no internal mods to this marker whatsoever. When I tested this, I played in the snow, I played in the rain, I played in the dirt, and I played in the heat. And I made no internal mods, I didn't change bolts, I didn't do anything, because when I review something, I want to take it straight out of the box and play with it as is, just like you guys would. So I didn't change anything. All I changed was the foregrip and the sight. I didn't change the barrel, and I put a remote line on. So yeah, this is factory tested, so I didn't change anything on it. Pneumatic battery makes a huge difference. I said that several times already. Now, some people who are more technically minded than I am have been playing with the dwell. They've been taking it down to about 15 so they can make it more efficient. And personally, I would leave the dwell alone. Let the professionals do that. Unless you're really, really good at teching your own markers and know the ins and outs, you don't need to mess with the dwell for this to work effectively. Some guys do that because they love to fine-tune their marker, like some guys would fine-tune a Mustang. Very cool if you can do it. If you don't know how to do it, I would suggest talking to a tech, talking to someone get the ins and outs of how to do that specifically. When you chrono your gun, keep in mind that first strikes always shoot about 10 to 15 BPS faster than a regular paintball marker. So always keep that in mind when you go to a game. You can do this two ways. Go to a game, if you have extra first strikes, chrono with the first strike, adjust efficiently. Usually it's 280 outside. Shoot 280 with the first strike. That means your regular paintballs are going to be about 265 or so, and then you're good. That's how I would do it if I'm shooting with a dial. If you want to do it the other way around, go chrono your marker with a regular 68 cal paintball, chrono it around between 260, 265, and then your first strikes should shoot at 280 or just under. Always play safe, always. I would always shoot less than you need to, all right? You don't have to be shooting right on at 280 with a first strike round. Do it at about 275, keep other people in mind. If you're shooting first strike rounds, shoot from a far distance. I do not know how to explain this to other people. Yes, if you want to be a sniper, first strikes help, but if you're at close quarters, don't use first strikes when you're close up to somebody. Use a regular paintball. 68 cal is perfectly fine for close up. If you're under 20, 30 feet, use a regular paintball. Don't use first strikes because they do sting a little bit more. Yeah. Visit the Die Damn Assault Matrix owners Facebook page on Facebook. I will put the link below in the description. You can find out anything you want there. There is also a Die forum on the internet. You can find, it's called Damon Die Assault Matrix Owners Group or something like that, Owners Network, I think. You can find that in the Facebook group also, and you will learn everything you need to know about this marker. I have to shout out Hustle Paintball, TechPB, and WCP. Their YouTube pages will be found under here, and within those three groups, you'll find out everything you need to know about this marker. It is insane. So yeah, I don't want to bore you by getting into any more details about it. I think I've pretty well covered everything about this thing. If you have more questions, you can find me on the Die Owners group, the Damn Owners group Facebook page. I'm always on there, along with actual text from Die who are on there too. What is my rating on the Die Assault Matrix? All right, now covers for the rails. These things are very cool. You can buy them separately. They come off and go on very easily. You can cut them to even the length that you want. They're very good if you don't wear gloves, so you don't mess up your hands when you're playing, because these things are they're not sharp, but you feel them. So yeah, amazing. And because it's magazine fed, I've played in games where I've had to shoot under cars, so I literally shoot that's not gangster, that's how you shoot effectively, from under a car, under an obstacle. Shoot like this because it's magazine fit, so it's all gravity. You can even shoot upside down, it will still work. Very cool. Magazines is the thing of the future. Look at the picture. Overall, feelings from Wolf about the Die-Damn. Amazing marker. Excellent. Amazing freaking gun. This thing is so cool. I have no words to express. I've waited very long to tell you this because I did not want to get out there, shoot this on the field, be disappointed, and lie to you guys, because that's not who I am. Die said I can say exactly what I feel, what I hate about it, what I love about it, and I love this marker. Wow. I give it a full-on 9 to 9.5 out of 10. Damn! If you think I'm biased, I'm sorry. It's an awesome marker. Everybody who's tried this thing who are not represented by damn say it's an awesome marker. It's very cool. It's for $1,299. Is it pricey? A little bit, yeah, but when you compare it to its competitors that sell for around $1,000 to $1,100, and then you have to add on all the stuff, it comes to that price anyways. You're getting a DM or reflex rail in this marker that is designed for the woods baller, especially guys like me who, I am a professional woods baller. People don't like to hear that, but that's what I do. This is what I do. I've been playing woods ball forever. This thing, what makes the damn so cool and what makes it sets it above others is not just how it shoots, but this on-the-fly system is what it's all about. Are you reading my lips? This is what this is about. When I'm in the field and I have to go from hopper and I see a guy who's really far away and I want to choose first strike rounds, boom. First strike rounds just like that. Or there are a lot of guys, especially mag-fed only forums, the Facebook pages. I know you guys complain when I don't use mag-fed only, but the system for magazine feed on this, give me a second, hold on. The system for magazine feed on this thing is ridiculous, all right? I am not trying to kiss butt and die. I'm being honest with you guys. When you see me at live games, I will complain to you about anything I have complaints about. The only big complaint I had was how it handled winter paint in the extreme cold weather. Other than that, I was at Living Legends, I was at PRZ, I did mag feed only at PRZ. Did I? No, I did a combination of PRZ. Newtown is when I did mag feed only. This thing performed outstandingly. The only time I had a break was in the freezing cold temperatures. Other than that, it shot amazing. Price is a little high, that's why I took up maybe a quarter of a point. And the other little piece of a point why it's only 9.5 is because of the cold weather. I can't really blame that on die, that's more of a electronic marker issue, but insanely cool. This is worth every freaking penny. I don't get money from them selling these things. I don't get any money, I'm not trying to sell you this marker. But if you're a professional player, if you want to look cool and be cool and have an efficiently shooting gun or marker, whatever you want to call it, you get everything with this. I don't know what else to tell you. It's very cool. The Die Salt Matrix. Damn, it's good, baby! It's hot! This is what it's all about. This is the future. Right here. It's so cool, I can't even show it out of focus and it's still hot. My name is Wolf. This is the Wolf Den. This is my t-shirt. You can buy it at hyperball.com. That is what I'm selling. That's all I'm selling. My t-shirts because they're hot and they're sexy. Go to a party with this thing. Girls will ask you about it. Are you a soldier? No, I'm a paintball player. This is high tech. All right? If you have any questions, leave below. Please subscribe, show us around to your friends. And please, if you do pick one up, let me know how it shoots. Send me your videos. I'd love to see more action with these things. This is 2013. Paintball is changing, it's evolving, and it's becoming incredibly cool. I'm happy to see where it's going, and I hope you're with me as it goes. So yeah, people, I'm gonna let my knee heal up. I'll see you next time around.